At the School of Business at Portland State University in Oregon, senior students during the winter quarter do a group capstone project where they act as consultants and they develop as a business strategy for a client. Organizations are selected competitively for this. And in 2025, one of the companies selected is Oxifab of Seattle, my company. I'm Bert Handler, the president of Oxifab, and this is an introduction to our business. Air pollution has plagued mankind ever since we had cities, and now vehicles and chimneys cause massive air pollution. Factories do. Indoor cooking creates air pollution, and so does smoking. Now, with climate change, wildfire smoke is now becoming a huge problem as well, making air pollution much worse for people all around the world. The Cocoon air cleaner from Oxifab is a possible solution. Air pollution really does kill people. It's the fourth biggest cause of preventable death in the world and kills over 6 million people a year and injures tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions more. Now, if you have money and access to the internet and to modern shopping, you can protect yourself indoors by using an indoor air cleaner, an appliance that you plug in and cleans the air. But if you don't have money or much money, or you don't have much access to modern shopping, you can join the 80% of the entire world's population that cannot afford or access an indoor air cleaner. Now, of course, women and children are the most affected by indoor air pollution, and they're concentrated in regions around the world with high populations and lots of issues environmentally, as you can see. In the United States, wildfire smoke has become a national issue now because of so many people being affected. Over 120 million people a year are affected by wildfire smoke every other year or so. And here we see two examples in the Northwest in 2023, the Northeast. In New England, huge numbers of people were affected by smoke from Canada. In 2022, the Pacific Northwest was affected by smoke. In fact, fires constitute 43% of all of the particles air pollution in the country now, and it's getting worse. Now, this has obviously become a massive problem for governments, and they're doing many things, public health outreach, helping people prepare, providing education, etc. And vast numbers of organizations are participating in this. One of them is the US EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and in 2021 they decided to work with 10 organizations, including the Centers for Disease Control, California Air Resources Board, and others, national organizations, as well as California, which is a nation by itself, to develop a challenge to encourage the development of new indoor air cleaners that are cheap and that can help reduce indoor smoke from wildfires. So this challenge is focused on removing fine particles that come from smoke and high air pollution episodes. And they're low, and the criteria is that they have to be low cost appliances and easy to use, not too noisy, and meet safety requirements. The contest was launched in 2021. Phase one winners were invited to submit prototypes for phase two in 2023, and the winners were announced in 2024. The winner was Portland State University's Healthy Buildings Research Lab, where Professor Elliot Gall and his graduate student Brett Stinson developed a do-it-yourself air cleaner design with an incredibly simple solution that seems to have escaped most of the world, and it's able to be used and made anywhere. So the Cocoon, as they call it, the clean air cocoon, was developed in the mechanical engineering department at Portland State University. It's got a box fan which blows into a big bag or a sock made out of cotton. And this is cotton quilting fabric, which is fluffy, about a 1/4 inch thick. And it's designed to be effective. It'll remove 80% of the smoke in a room in 30 minutes. It costs less than $60. It's made with common household materials, box fans and cotton fabric, and it's reusable. The fabric can be washed, so you don't have to replace the filters. Here's another picture of it, basically just showing how the fan blows into the bag, and it works because even though the filter itself is not very efficient relative to a modern furnace filter, It's huge compared to them. It's got a lot more surface area, so it works just as well as a $200 air cleaner. And it's got the results to show its effectiveness. Now, in the upper picture, I want to point out that this is the cocoon sitting in a room. And as you can see, it's big and it takes up a lot of floor space. So it's right away, there's some issues about how user friendly it is. But it does have the lowest cost per cubic foot of clean air of any air cleaner. There is nothing else in the world that can provide clean air at a lower cost. Well, okay, how did that lead to a new company? So I am Bert Hamner. I've lived in Seattle since 1983. I've been a consultant in clean tech to business and governments for over 30 years, and I've worked in 19 countries helping businesses and governments. And I have founded and funded two clean energy companies, award-winning companies. And I have asthma, and wildfire smoke injures me, and I hate it. When I saw the EPA's PR about the Portland State contest winners, I thought, well, gosh, these guys are only 30 minutes, an hour and a half to 2 hours away from me by plane. And I realized the huge potential to help millions of people because this thing can be made anywhere. I talked to the PSU team and learned that they didn't know how to commercialize their invention. They're professors, academics. So I decided I'd launch a new corporation with them in May 2024. And that company is called Oxifab. It's a Washington State C corporation. So we have investors, which is myself and Portland State Professor Elliot Gall and his student Brett Stinson, and also Dr. Jeff Williams, who's a fabric technology expert. The first thing I decided to do was improve the cocoon design. My idea was to turn it on its side and blow up into the bag. So the bag is now hanging from a lampstand, and the fan below it is now a air circulator fan designed to push air around in a room and has the unique feature of its being able to tilt straight up as well as sideways. So that makes it easy to blow up into the bag. And it also means that you can use the fan all year long as a fan. You don't have to use it with this filter. So it's got multiple uses. And it has some potential for upgrades. We won't get into this, but basically that's what it is. You can also hang lights inside it, so it becomes a nice living room appliance. Now, our secret sauce here is that we cannot get a patent on the basic concept of the cocoon because the professor disclosed it to the EPA before filing for a patent on it. So it's out in the public domain. Well, we don't want to prevent people from making their own cocoon bags because we want them to be healthier. So our plan is just to tell everybody in the world how to make it yourself. So if you make it, you have to buy the fabric and buy a fan and cut and glue the fabric and assemble it. And that all takes time and money. Of course, you can also just buy it from us, from our company. Now, here's why that's important because air and health agencies and governments around the world usually cannot promote individual companies. They can't endorse a specific company, but they can and do promote do-it-yourself solutions, how you can help yourself at home. Now, this is a do-it-yourself solution, and so we're going to give away the instructions to the entire world, and people can follow the instructions and make their own cocoon. Or they can buy it from us if it's available locally. And we intend to try to make it available locally everywhere. So our global vision is simply that cotton quilting and table fans are available nearly everywhere in the world. And donors can give grants for demonstrations. Local workers can assemble the cocoon filters and local distributors can sell them. And governments can finance the factories as well. In terms of getting out to the world, organizations like the United Nations Industrial Development Organization help companies to reach vast populations. UNIDO, as they call it, has offices in 48 countries. And that's their mission, is to help set up factories and create good, clean jobs. So the cocoon has a lot of impact potentially, not only on good health and well-being, but on decent work because it helps people work in a clean environment and that makes them more productive. It helps women because women are the majority of the people injured by indoor air pollution because they're indoors more. industry innovation and factories. And it reduces inequalities because now poor people will be able to buy air cleaners just like wealthy people. And it'll help cities and communities be more sustainable. It'll help mitigate climate impacts from wildfire smoke. And it'll help create partnerships around the world. The bag itself is organic biodegradable cotton. The fan is super energy efficient. The bag can be washed and reused, and we can make local jobs. So we can do a lot of benefit for a lot of different groups, which is very important because there are many donors and organizations that support this mission. So we can get grants from foundations. We have a fiscal sponsor. It's an existing nonprofit that can get grants for projects. They manage the grants and then they hire our company as the project contractor. So we can get paid by a donor to do the development of our company we want. And there's literally thousands and thousands of foundations and donors supporting the many benefits that clean air brings. And the donations to our company are, and including crowdfunding, are now tax deductible. So our unique features of this product are it's our simple tech can get really complicated and deep because we can do new R&D on the fan and the filter to get more advanced performance at the low cost. And we can also add internet connectivity to the fan so it can be sold on a pay-as-you-go basis using payments over your phone. And someone who was selling it to you, if you don't make the payment, they can turn off the fan by sending it a text message until you pay it and get it working again. We have a vast number of enthusiastic stakeholders because so many organizations support clean air. And we can make a big social community around the world with people who are finding out ways to make their cocoon air cleaners better. So our vision is to be a global brand corporation, making cocoons in 1,000 cities and employing thousands of people and educate the world about air quality and advanced technology for practical air cleaners and air filters, things that can be made locally. And our values are to strive for multiple impacts, not just clean air, but better work and children's health. And to have scale, we need to go big or go home. If we're not going to hit a couple tens of millions, we're not making a difference. So we're going to try to be as big as we can. But we also believe in building and buying locally so that this creates jobs and is more locally sustainable. Our goals are in the next 3 to 6 months to get seed funding up to launching the product and then launch the company in the Pacific Northwest, where we all breathe smoke regularly in the summer and it's horrible and we hate it and we want to have a better solution and raise money to develop the product further. And then in the medium term, 6 to 12 months to partner with air quality organizations across North America and create a viable and financially stable U.S. market in the North America. In the long term, we want to go global, and that means probably partnering with or even selling to a huge multinational that can do this work and establish regional production and training hubs and run local contests and incubators for clean air innovation, help local people get cleaner air. Our immediate challenges are we want new leadership. We need a new vice president who can be taking over as the future president. I'm going to move out of that role. And we need a vice president for marketing. This is going to be a marketing company. That's the key to everything here because the technology is very simple. We need funding, and there's many options and many supporters from grants to equity to loans to trade credit to international financing for factories. There's a lot of issues to consider and opportunities. Then we need a team. Where and how are we going to find the right people to build this company? And again, there's many, many partnership options. So we're faced with a lot of open choices here about how we want to go forward with this company and look forward to having great input from the consulting team at Portland State Business School to help us figure out what do we do next. So what we want from the Capstone project is your group's concepts for branding and the benefits and values. In other words, you as a group, tell us how you think this product works and do you like it? Would you buy it? Would you recommend it? Because it's brand new and no one's ever seen anything like this product. And we want to understand what's the market in the Northwest, which would include Oregon and Washington and also Northern California, because it gets really strongly affected by smoke. We then needed a sales model for 3 years and finally a business strategy to pull it all together. And once we know what that strategy is, we're going to need staffing and funding. So this is the goal for our consultancy this winter quarter with the students at Portland State Business School. and I'm looking forward to working with everybody. Here's my contact information, Bert Hamner at cocooncleanair.com, and you can call me anytime. I would rather talk to you than send emails back and forth unless it's a matter of, trading documents. And if you want to know more about me, here's my LinkedIn profile. And I'm looking forward to the meeting with the students coming up. Thanks very much, and I'll see you soon.